Hey guys, hopefully everyone is doing well. Today's target is to solve question number 9.3. Chapter which we are related with is labor wage rates and labor wages, how to calculate wages for the labor, and two main topics and two main dimensions of payment of wages we have already discussed. Here what is said, we need to calculate piece rate and differential rate. Differential rate was discussed in 9.2, and I am just reminding you, if somebody is doing good work and somebody is manufacturing number of units more than that of standard settled in the factory, he would be awarded with extra amount of wage, and if a worker is producing number of units less than that of standard, he would be discouraged, and salary or wages which would be paid would be less than that of original amount of wage. Good work, additional wages. Bad work, deduction of wages. Just try to understand differential rate system. Is somebody is producing more number of unit, that worker will be getting a wage which would be more than that of standard as well. If a worker is producing low number of unit, the wages would be deducted and he will not be able to get even his or her original wage. Straight piece is very simple. Number of pieces somebody would make and per piece rate would be applied. As you know that in this chapter we have discussed time rate method, where what would happen, a worker will come and he will work in the factory. Hours worked would be noted down and it would be multiplied by per hour rate. In simple way you will be able to calculate wages of this worker. And then we have discussed, according to piece work rate system, number of pieces some worker would make and per piece rate would already been decided. So this per rate would be multiplied by number of pieces manufactured, in which the worker would get wage. The only difference in this question is we are asked piece rate system, as well we will be doing this question for differential rate system, and there are three workers. So wages of three workers according to simple piece and wages of three workers according to Taylor differential system. It means there would be six answers. Three answer for piece rate. You can see there are three answers for piece rate and three answers for Taylor differential. Three answer for Taylor differential. As you can see, requirement is clearly mentioning piece rate and differential rate, and this was mentioned in the heading as well. So let's start our question. As usual, we will set standards first. And for standards, what is written over here? Standard time per piece is 108 seconds. So there are two factors given. One is time and second number of pieces. Time is given 108 seconds. Should I mention seconds beside? Although it is unnecessary, but you will remember it, 108 seconds, and number of pieces which should be manufactured is one piece. Now it's clear, in 10 second standard is to produce one piece, and we need to know how many number of units would be manufactured in 1 hour. You will always be setting standard per hour. It would be very easy for you to calculate further calculations. Alright, come to the point. In 1 hour, how many seconds? As you know, there are 60 minutes in 1 hour, and each hour contains 60 minutes. Each minute contains 60 seconds. So in this way, how many? 3600 seconds would be present. 3600 second would be present in your question. So let it be put over here. So what we have calculated, 3600 seconds in 1 hour. How 60 minutes are present in 1 hour, and in each minute there are 60 seconds. So we are multiplying both to get the total seconds per hour. So let's come over here. We want to know how many number of pieces would be manufactured in 3600 seconds. So hopefully you have understood. A simple standard would be applied, that is cross multiplication. First x would be multiplied with 108. So what we will get, 108x, and then second cross multiplication is 3600 would be multiplied with 1, we will get 3600. Now you can see that x is being multiplied with 108 and we want to take 108 to the opposite side. So what will happen, 3600 is already present, and when you will take 108 to the opposite side, it is being multiplied over here. If you will take it to the opposite side, sign would be changed and it would be divided. So 108 at denominator, here we are dividing it. Statement is completed. Now let's calculate the amount as well, 108. So finally we have got what? Here question mark was at pieces. In 3600 seconds, how many pieces would be made? So we have calculated pieces per hour. In 1 hour, how many pieces we can manufacture? This is what our calculation was. In this way, first standard we have settled down, and now we will see what else is given in the question. But please keep it in mind, in 1 hour, number of pieces are to be manufactured as 33 around. In 108 second, one piece was made. In 3600, that means 1 hour, 33 units should be manufactured. This was our standard. And now second wage per week is 2000. So another work we will be doing again. Time is written over here and number of pieces would be mentioned beside it. What standard we have done? In 1 hour, 33.3 pieces. So 1 hour, number of pieces which would be manufactured, 33.33 pieces. Since they are talking about 1 week, so we'll have to know how many hours are present in 1 week. Go back to the question and you can see during 6 days, 8 hours. During 6 days, 8 hours week pieces produced by 3 workers. So we are related with these two elements. 6 days we are working and each day 8 hours. 8 hours shift per day and total 6 days in a week. So how many hours in a week then? Here you will again like this, you will calculate, you have 8 hours in 1 day. So how many hours in 6 days? In this way you will be calculating 48 hours per week. They will be working 48 hours per week. So we would want to know how many pieces would be made in 48 hours. Hopefully you have understood. First standard was set that one piece was made in 108 seconds. How many pieces would be made in 36 or 1 hour? So these are pieces for 1 hour. In 1 hour, 33 pieces are made. In 48 hours, that means hours per week. So in whole week, how many number of units would be made? This is our second standard. Again, we will put a simple accounting principle. Cross multiplication. X would be multiplied by 1. So alone X would be here. And then 48 would be multiplied by 33.3. 48 would be multiplied by. Let me clear it. It's multiplied. And now we can calculate our answer. How we will multiply 48 to 33.3333. More accurate answer you will get if you will put 33 and a lot of decimals with it. There are two numerics, 33.3 and 66.6. You will never round it up both items. 33.3 and 66.6. So longer the decimal you will put on your calculate, accurate the answer you will get. So what we have got, again come over here. 33 pieces are made in 1 hour. How many pieces? This was the question. So we have calculated pieces, but pieces next is 48 hour are present in 1 week. So we have calculated pieces per week. 1600 pieces are to be made in 1 week. This is second standard. We had set it up because it was important. So there are two calculations we have made, and now we will see if there is any other standard which would be put. Standard wage per week 2000, it has already been decided, and we need to calculate piece rate system. So let's start our question. First we will mention how many workers are working. Oh god, workers, I think A, B and C. There are 3 workers. Yes, and they have produced some number of pieces. Worker A had produced 15, 16 and 17. 1500 worker A, 1600 worker B and 1700 worker C. Okay, since we are following piece rate system, look at here, piece rate system. We will see per piece rate only, which we have already calculated. Look at here, 33.33 pieces per hour we are making. Did we calculate the piece rate? Okay, no, we haven't calculated the piece rate system. So we will calculate it per piece rate. For that we will extend our standard as well. For per piece, again we will be calculating here per week pieces and per week wage. So these are two elements which we have already in our question. Per week pieces, look over here, pieces per week 1600 we are making, and for this week it has been said standard wage per week is 2000 rupees. You will put 2000 over here. What is this? 1600 are pieces and 200 is what? Rupees. Okay, now we want to know how much amount would be paid. Question mark would be put over here. How much amount would be put if somebody is making only one piece? So this is our question with which we can calculate our desired amount. Now please notice 1600 pieces are made into 16 in 1 week. This was calculated over here. If you want to rewind it, just revise it by rewinding the lecture. How did we calculate this 1600? So 1600 pieces are made in 1 week per week, and in 1 week we receive 2000 rupees. So how much amount somebody will receive if he is making only one piece, just to set the standard. And here again we will start our cross multiplication. X would be multiplied by 1600, so we will get 1600 x, and on the other side 2000 would be multiplied by 1, so we will get 2000. Next step is 1600 is being multiplied by x, and what we want to do, taking 1600 to the opposite side, sign would be changed. 2000 is already present, and we are taking this 1600 to the opposite side. Here it is multiplied, then you will take it to the opposite side, it would be divided. We will get 1600 in denominator. Statement completed. Now you can calculate 2000 divided by 1600. So we have got our per piece rate and in this way, what is this amount? Rupees, this is rupees per piece, and you can also name it as per piece rates. This is what, how much amount somebody would take for single piece. So per piece rate we have calculated. So third standard is also set for our calculations. Okay, actually we were doing cost. Now this working would be helpful for calculation of the amount. Per piece rate we have calculated 1.25. This will be common for all the workers. So here we have our calculation. Now we can calculate wages. And how do we calculate wages? Hopefully you remember we have just discussed it at start of our question, and usually we discuss daily. Whenever we solve the question, we discuss these two methods. Piece work rate is number of pieces somebody would made, and per piece rate would be applied. In the similar way, what we will do, how many pieces somebody had made, and we will multiply it with per piece. Okay, so number of pieces 1500 made by A, and for single piece 1.25 would be paid. That is what we have calculated over here. In this way, what we will do, number of pieces made 1500 multiplied by per piece rate 1.25. So wage rate for the first person have been calculated. For second person, we will following the same thing. Number of unit manufactured by B is 1600. You need to multiply per piece 1.25. And then number of units manufactured by C 1700 multiplied by 1.25 per piece rate. So we have calculated our wages, which was required in part A. This is actually piece rate system. First part has been solved, and this is what piece rate system was applied, under which we have calculated three wages. Let's check out the answers. 1875 2000 2125. So here 1875 2000 2125 2125. In this way our first part has been sorted out. Per pieces are developed. Now we will be applying second, which is Taylor differential system. Hopefully spellings are okay. We accountants are not bothering about the spellings. Differential, okay. It seems like okay. So second part which we are solving is Taylor differential rate system, under which what would happen if a worker had done a good job, he will be appreciated in terms of finance. I am okay with this. This would be similar, and I'm taking it for calculation of next step. It would be absolutely similar since both are piece rate system, but Taylor differentiate how, when you will be calculating your standard production or standard wage rate, you will take care if a worker is doing good thing, you will be providing him extra salary. If some worker is doing a job which is less than that of standard, you will be deducting his salary. For that standard, it has been said 80% standard piece rate for below standard, 120 standard piece rate for above. Standard piece rate for week we have already calculated, and here is that pieces per week is your standard. 1600 pieces per week should be made, and here you can see to set the standard we would be looking forward for their units. 1500 units are made. So this is under standard, and this is what is, it has been said above standard. So you will write it above standard, above standard over here. Here there is a little bit misunderstanding by the book, though it is not above standard, but it is meeting the standard. So here it should not be used above standard. It should be, okay, they had written standard piece rate for at or above. At or above means, I was just wondering whether they have discussed or not. So it is at standard. That means exactly according to standard we have set over here. 1600 pieces were to make in 1 week, and worker B had made 1600. This is at standard, and worker B had produced even more than that of standard, above standard. So these are two words which you will understand. Rate for, at or above. At means meeting the standard. Worker B is meeting the standard, he will also be awarded extra. And worker C, who had made a number of units above than that of standard, that has been set. So now we will calculate their salaries, but instead of calculating direct, again we will take help what was present on above. Okay, it's missing. It's all right, we can calculate again. So here normal wages would be calculated. How? Pieces would be multiplied by per piece. In this way, first wage has been calculated. In the similar way, number of pieces multiplied per pieces for second worker, and again number of pieces multiplied by per piece for third worker. This is normal wages. But here we will be calculating actual wages would be paid. For this we will be following standard set by Taylor, where if a worker had worked according to standard, he will be appreciated. So actual wages would be calculated over here. Standard is what? If a worker had worked less than standard, he would be paid 80%. That means 20% amount would be deducted. So this was original salary 1875. He would be paid only 80%. So please note it down. What we have done, 1875 was the normal wage, but since he had worked less than that of standard, standard was 1600, so 20% amount would be deducted and he would be paid only 80%. So first wage. In the similar way, second worker had worked 2000 and exactly at standard he would be appreciated and would be given 120% of salary. Please note it down. Multiply by 120 divided by 100, 2000. 2000 was normal wages, but since he is meeting his standard, so we will give him 120. That means 20% extra amount would be paid. In the similar way, third worker had produced 2125 and units he manufactured are 1700, which is even above of standard. And it has been decided any worker who will work above than that of standard, he would be paid extra 20%. So 120% would be paid to the third worker. In this way, his salary would appear over here. So finally, we have calculated amount of wages. This is actual wages. Let's check out the answer. 1524. So 1524 and last 2550. So we have 2550. In this way, these three answers are also matched with the answers provided in the book. So there were 6 answers. First part we have solved over here: 1875, 2000, 2125. 1875 and 2000. 1875 and 2000. 2125 your next answer, and then we have checked 1500, 24 and 25. 1524 and 25, 50, all answers are matched. It means our question has been ended. Please, I'm requesting you, humbly requesting you to just not only understand but repeat it, revise it, practice it for more than 3-4 times so that you can have proper understanding of it. So this was your straight piece and differential piece rate system under question number 9.3, which has been completed. If you have any query, any question regarding this, you are very open to ask your questions through messages, text, or directly contact. I will surely be available instantly for answering your question. For the time being, it's end of our meeting today, 9.3 ended, and I am requesting you to, hopefully we will be meeting again for the solution of any other question in future. Up till then, please take care of yourself, and I'm requesting you to please pray for me as well. Thank you very much for your time. It's time to say goodbye. Allah Hafiz.